Yes, this is another day with Sunday in the Life Transformation Show. I'm so grateful you're here. Welcome into this Life Transformation Show. Today we are talking about how to silence the self-doubt in us. That little voice that is telling you you are not enough. That little voice that is telling you you don't amount to anything, you don't have the capability. We are going to learn how to put that down today and develop self confidence. How to do we can develop to have self trust. We are talking about self trust, the power of self trust. The whole of these coming days up to Sunday, we'll be talking about self trust and how we can really build on that because it has a very big impact in our lives, in our decision making, in our everyday life. It has an impact. So we need to really put down that silent voice that only you listen. I did have that too. Sometimes it comes, but it's not about um saying you don't have it. Sometimes it comes. Sometimes it comes in my mind, but I have to question that voice that comes. It tells me I am not enough. Why do you think I am not enough? And that's after questioning it, the voice disappears slowly by slowly. So it's high time we silence every voice that speak negative to us, that you are not able, that you are not capable. If even if you don't have the skills, you still have the capacity to learn. You still have the ability to learn something. Everyone else learn anything that we know on this earth. We learn either from our parents, from school, or from other people. We learn. So that little voice is just to limit you. So never put an ear to that. We are going to learn techniques on how to really put that voice down so that you can embrace your true self, so you can be able to embrace your confidence and be able to move into whoever God wants you to be, into your destiny, into the life that you desire. Most times what really limits us, it's not because we don't have the opportunity. Sometimes it is because of ourselves, because of that little voice that speaks to us. It's very little, but it has strength. It speaks to our inner self, and our body doesn't apply whatever that is supposed to be applied. We listen to that inner voice more than what we speak to ourselves. And sometimes when the inner voice is negative, that's when it's bad. But when we have a strong, positive inner voice, it helps us a lot to develop and to grow. So voice of doubt that comes, you are not enough Sunday. Did you remember how you failed last time? And sometimes it comes from the point of previous experience. Sometimes maybe something I failed some time back, and it keeps reminding me if I want to do another or something new. I say, remember how you failed last time? Do you want to be embarrassed again? See, you say, oh my God, I still remember how I failed that. You see, but different opportunities comes in different time. Maybe you didn't understand the thing before at that time, so you still have the capability to learn something. So never listen to that voice, because everyone else has the capacity to learn and to do better. So that inner voice can never limit you, because um, it is not what can define you. But if you listen to it, it can really define you, because you will not be able to take action, because you will not be able to move forward. So it's time to silence that voice, that negative voice, and replace it with confidence. Replace it with confidence. Tell that voice, I am enough. I am able. I am capable. And that's what I do to myself. That's what I do to myself. I have to remind myself, Sunday you're able. Sunday you're able to learn, you're capable to do great things. And I failed so many times back. I even sometimes failed to capture opportunities. And I still beat myself, really criticize myself because of what happened before. We are our greatest critics. I criticized myself, but now I learn to embrace myself with even my imperfection, and knowing that I have the capacity to learn, I have the capacity to improve. So any voice that speaks to me within myself, not someone else. We are talking here about ourselves, not going to what other people say, because sometimes what other people say is secondary. What we say to ourselves, and now when some people say, we affirm it and say it is really true. But what are we thinking of ourselves? What do we um, have in our inner self about ourselves? That is what we are talking on here. What we have in our inner self, it's the little voice, but it empowers us, most especially when it is positive. When I speak to myself, Sunday, you're a strong woman. You are determined to, and you are committed. You see, I have to remind myself sometimes, because I may forget and I say, after all, it's just me. But when I remind myself I am committed into my transformation, into my uh, success that I am envisioning, it gives me the energy. It gives me like it happens like an accountability. It becomes like an accountability partner that is monitoring it. Someone is monitoring me. So it's me speaking to myself. I have to silence every voice that speaks negative to myself, that I am not enough, that I am not able. Because even if I don't know that thing, I can still learn. I can still learn it. I can still unlearn it. I can still relearn. So do you. You have the capacity to learn. You have the capacity to unlearn some negative things, and you have the capacity to relearn even those things that you learned before and you have not committed into action. Thank you, Halima is watching and saying, hello, mommy. Hello, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. So we are talking about silencing self-doubt. That's what we're talking. And our main topic is the power of self-trust. We are talking to ourselves and trusting ourselves. So that voice in your head, in my head, that comes lying that you are not enough. It's time to replace it with confidence. It's time to replace it by saying, I am enough, I am able, I am capable, and I can do great things. Replace that with strong, positive words. So how do you even identify? Because those are some of the limiting beliefs. If you identify those uh, those thoughts when it comes in your mind, also it's important we identify the pattern. When does it happen? At what times? When I am alone, when I am with people, when I am worried, when I am so when we identify the patterns, when it happens, when those thoughts comes into our mind, it becomes so easy to avoid such times, more especially when I am alone. So I avoid being by myself. If I am worried, when I am worried, I try to shift the environment, change it, maybe by playing music, maybe by going to somewhere, maybe by reading a book, or maybe watching a transformational uh, video, or maybe doing something, or maybe going just for a walk, maybe exercise, be able to shift the environment. And that's when we identify when it happens. When it happens. Halima is saying, I am fine, mommy, and how are you doing and the family? Yeah, we are doing very well. Thank you very much, my daughter. We are doing so well. So empowering yourself with positive words. And when you know when those things happen, when those patterns happen in yourself, that voice, whenever it comes, because sometimes when you want to do something else, that's when it comes and reminds you about what happened last time, how you failed, how you failed. But your whole life is not about failure. There's so many things that you did that are positive, that you succeeded, that made you made you strong. You have to remind yourself about that. When that thought happened, or reminding you of how you failed and how you didn't perform well, maybe you did not get something right, remind yourself about the success that happened. those small wins that you had. Remind yourself of that. Remind yourself of what happened when it happened and how you felt that time. The most important thing is experience like it is fresh in your mind, in yourself. Experience that success that you had, and bring back that feeling of joy, that feeling of fulfillment that you had at that time. It can be able to really silence every voice that comes to you with every negativity. So when we identify those patterns of saying we are not worthy or capable, and replacing it, or shifting the environment, and avoiding some of the situations when it happens, maybe when we are alone. It's very, very important sometimes to ask ourselves, if it comes in our mind, why do you think I'm not worthy? Or why do you think I am not capable? Why do you think it's important to have a self conversation. We are trained not to speak to ourselves. When we speak to ourselves, that's how we are brought up in our family. But I learned that speaking to yourself is very important, because it keeps you affirming to your inner self, and the results can be felt from the outside, because your mind has shifted to knowing how strong you are, how capable you are, and and it replaces every fear with facts of what happened, how you succeeded, how you fulfilled something, how you made a right decision some time back. So it helps us to refrain from every negative narrative, those negative self-talks. Let me just reduce this. Every negative self-talk, you have to replace it with positive talks, having affirmations. It's affirmations. I just know of it in late, I think, some 3-4 years back, that I am really committed to affirmations, to speaking to myself, affirming to myself. I even trained my children to know how to speak to themselves, have affirmations that can help them reduce any self-talk, any self-talk that comes to any negative self-talk that comes to their mind, and be able to learn, because we have the capacity to learn. Every day we have the capability and the capacity to learn anything that we don't know. So something, if it reminds us in our mind that you don't have the skills, maybe you will not get it right, you will fail, you still remind yourself, I have the capacity to learn. So everyone else has the capacity to learn. And we are living in an information age where information is almost everywhere to learn. We can learn from home, we can learn from school, we can learn from our aunties, and they have great information. So it's very important for us to remind ourselves that we have the capacity to learn, and to unlearn some negative things, and also to relearn some positive things that we knew and we have left it out. So here are some techniques on how to silence self-doubt, how you can make that self-doubt get out of your way, get out of your way. For example, I mentioned that, like, having affirmations, saying something like, I trust myself, because we are working on self-trust. And it is very powerful in our everyday decision, how we make decisions. It's very, very important when we trust ourselves, and we can be able to easily trust others too if we trust ourselves. So have affirmations like saying, I am enough, I trust myself, I am confident, um, I am very decisive, I know what I am doing, I am enough. Having those, you can say whatever that you want to say, to just remind yourself every time that you have the capacity to do great things, and every negative silent voice can be silenced, and you can do that. Nobody else can come and silence, because nobody had it. It's only you who had that voice. So you can be able to learn, and it is important also to visualize yourself successful. See what you want really to achieve in life. See, have the vision of that in your mind. What you want to learn and what you want to have in the future. Like you see yourself successful, maybe traveling the world, see yourself having big mansion or having several houses, or maybe helping others, maybe doing charitable work, a lot of other things that we can see ourselves doing that can be able to shift that negative mind, that negative thought in ourselves. And we can be able to remove every self doubt and replace it with self confidence and self trust in ourselves. So take small actions, because when we say it in the affirmations is good, but we need to also to practice it. For example, if I made decision that I have to come live every morning, I have really to commit to it unless there is something that is more important or urgent than this, so I can be able to do it. So be committed to everything, however small it is. Be committed to yourself, because that is the beginning of trusting yourself. Because sometimes the silence voice, the negative silent voice can come. Do you remember last time you made this commitment and even you didn't commit? You see, it reminds us. But when we take every single small step, it will really help us remind ourselves that, oh, I am committed. I am committed to this, and this is what I am doing and what I did, and I will still do this one. Yes, remind yourself you can still do better. You can still do better. So practice this on building positive self-trusting mindset. To have a positive self-trusting mindset is by surrounding yourself with the positive people. You have people who are surrounding you, your friends, could be your colleagues, could be from your family. Surround yourself with those people who are uplifting, those people who are positive, those people who can correct you in the right way, those people who can challenge you to do those things that you thought you couldn't do it. It's really very hard. It's not easy to find such people, but when you find one, please get all of them. Never let them go, because those can really take you far. The person who can tell you you can do this, even if you still doubt yourself, you can do this, and give you the morale, the energy, and you keep trying, and find yourself doing great things. So surrounding ourselves with positive people and lift people who lift you, people who challenge you to do great things, is very important. And that can be able to boost your self-belief, to believe in yourself. Even at the first, when you say, I don't think I can do this, and they say, you can do this. Yes, do it. You can do that. There was a time I was invited somewhere to speak, and I don't know, for some reason, I became so nervous and I was very afraid. And there was a lady who invited me, who was in charge of that function. She came to me and she said, "Wendy, you look nervous. What have happened? You remember how?" Yes, she reminded me how I spoke one day. You remember the day you spoke in this place and you took over the room and everything was so, you were in control. You can do it. Just go do it, Sunday. You can do it. And that was the energy I needed that time. I did not know how the fear came, but it came somehow. It came in me, but she was like an energy to me. She really boosted me. She said, "Sunday, you can do this. Don't get afraid of anything. Just go and do it." I was invited in a big function, and I was afraid. Those are all intellectual, big people, company people. I was really afraid. I don't know. The fear just came. I was just thinking, reminding myself what happened. But as I was just in that thought, she just saw it very fast, and it reminded me of what happened sometime, because there was a time I was invited to speak and she was there. And she reminded me on what happened that time. Sunday, you were so in charge of the room and you're going to do even more better this time. Oh my God, that was enough that I needed. You see, it's important you surround yourself with positive people, with people who can lift you, because there are moments when you can be down, and those people can be like an energy to you to really lift you up. That time, I really got strong energy, and I am so grateful that Lola, she is working with employability and small business in Townsville. She really lifted me that day, and I was so happy. And when it was with them, I really was in charge. I'm so grateful. So keep promise to yourself, like follow small commitment, as I said, commit to whatever that decision you have decided to take, commit to it. However small it may be just waking up in the morning and drink water. It could be just that. And if you commit to that, it will grow and build itself into something that you can make bigger decisions, and you can still commit yourself and be able to do it when it is needed, because you are used to, when you want to wake up and take water every time, maybe at that particular time you just challenge yourself to do that. It can build trust on yourself. So even your body, me, I have challenge myself to wake up at some specific time. So even sometimes just some few minutes to that time, I'm already awake. My body is already awake, and everything in me is telling me to get out of bed. And that is because of the small things. I just try, and at first it cannot be easy. At first it can be so challenging, but when you practice, do it over and over and over again, even when you don't feel like doing it, do it, because your body will soon get used to it, and it become like an habit. It become like part of you. So it's very important we really listen to that inner positive voice and positive energy that can shift us into doing great things. So remember your commitments and follow whatever that you wanted to do. And there are moments maybe we fail, we didn't get it right. It's important also to be kind to ourselves. We offer kindness to other people. If some people didn't do well, we are being kind to them. Don't worry, it's gonna be okay. But when it is ourselves, we become very hard to ourselves. So it's very important we learn. I learned to be kind to myself, and also be able to transfer that kindness to others whenever needed. So it's important to be graceful to ourselves, not to be very harsh to ourselves, because we can fall here and there, and we can still pick ourselves up and become better. We can still get to do it again, to practice, to do it over and over again until we get it right. Um, and that can help us even when there are setbacks, when there are challenges. We can be able to be resilient, to keep ourselves strong, because we remind ourselves it's okay. We can see that as a stepping stone to even get better results, because we have learned how to figure out where that mistake is. So it's very important for us to see every opportunity as a stepping stone. And that happens when we have that self-trust. We trusted ourselves, we are so confident of ourselves. And it's not a one day thing. Just to be honest, it's a process. It's a process that we have to build ourselves in on daily basis, to trusting ourselves, and also to committing to ourselves, even those small things that we commitments that we wanted to do. It's very important we practice to really commit to it every day, because that can really help us boost our self-trust. And we learned yesterday that it can help us make quick decisions and informed decision. It can be able to help us to weigh what thing to take. If there are options, we can be able to know which option is for us, which option is for you. So let us know on the comment section, what are you struggling with? Are you struggling to trust yourself? Do you doubt yourself? It's high time to build on self-trust. Just write, type on the comment section, I trust myself. I trust myself. I trust myself. And that's, as you say it, you write it, you can remember it. And if you do it now often, in so many times, you remind yourself, you trust it yourself, and it will truly build a strong foundation in you. So it's very important we trust ourselves, and we have positive self-thoughts to ourselves, self-talk, that we talk positive things. And when we talk it, when we make decisions, I used to not really, when I make decisions, I don't commit to it, but I have learned to commit to every decision that I have taken. For example, I challenged myself. I think it was last year. I challenged myself. I said, before Valentine or on that Valentine 14th, it will never reach 15. I have to start this course. And I keep reminding myself, and it built something in me. So when it was 13th, even I forgot about it, but on the 14th, I just took action. And it was after when I took the action of what I really needed. I remembered, oh my God, I had this promise to myself. You see, sometimes when we promise ourselves and we keep talking about it, our body know about it. Sometimes we take action and we come and remember later, oh, it was exact this day. I have seen this happen several times this year, more especially. I promise myself and I write a deadline for this. I wanted to do this on this day. It cannot pass from this to this, it cannot pass this day. And I have seen it happen. And sometimes it happened even in a moment when I have already forgotten that I made that promise. It was after taking the action and I sit down and I remember, oh, I even wrote down, I write it down on my journal. I have my journals here that I write things I want to do. I write them down with the deadline that I wanted to do it. And I keep saying to myself, and my children are my accountability partners. I really speak to them and they also follow up. Mommy, you say this and this and this. And they like bringing that to my mind. It really helps me a lot. It helps me a lot. I don't keep quiet about it. I keep talking about it and I keep reminding myself about it. Sometimes I write it wherever I go often. I write there and I remind myself. But there are moments I forget, like the time I was supposed to do to register for to enroll for the course. I wanted that even like some more days, like 4 days, I did not say about it. I forgot, but no, I was at work and then just that understanding came to me. Sunday, you have to do it now. You have to do it now. And I went online and registered on the course. Then when I came home, I remember, oh my God, I promised myself, I asked my daughter, do you remember how I said it cannot pass on the Valentine Day before I enroll for the course? She said, yes, now it has happened. You see, yeah, so get someone who is like accountability partner. It could be your children. My children are really my good accountability partners and they remember it so well. And I keep talking about saying, repeating it over and over and over again that I get it within my inner self. Whatever that I want to do, that my inner self gets it. I want it to really understand what I want because I don't say it once. I keep saying it over and over again. I say it when I am alone. Sometimes when I say it with my children, I say it maybe to someone to be like to be a witness that I am committed to this and it helps me a lot. So I'm so grateful for this show today and tomorrow, the same time, 6 a.m. We are going to have another topic still on the power of self-trust. The power of self-trust. So it's very important to trust ourselves. And I'm so grateful you're here. Let me know where you're watching from. And I just want to tell you that this is a judgment-free zone. So comment below and tell us your story, how you trusted yourself, how you learned to trust yourself. Let us know on the comment section and let us know where you're watching from. I am so grateful for this life transformation talk, and I know that it will go very far. There might be people who are in need of this because it will help them. It will also help someone else if you know someone who really needed to know how they can trust themselves. Share this with them. You never know how much they will thank you later. So I am so grateful for those ones who wanted to know about the business. The link is below on the running text. You can message me and I'll be more than happy to help you understand about how you can start up your own online business. I am so grateful. See you there tomorrow. Same time, same Bless. God bless you. Bye.